I heard that you're putting a posse together to dismantle the teachers union. And all I want to know is, can I be a part of it?
Absolutely. Join the club.
I want to know what that entails.
There's a two-pronged approach to make that happen. And the first one's obvious, and it's something I've been fighting for a very long time, which is school choice, having the money follow the child, allow families to take their child's taxpayer-funded education dollars to the school that works best for them. That could be the public school. If you like your public school, you can keep your public school. But if not, that funding follows the decision of the parent to a private school, charter school, or a home-based education option. And a lot of families are homeschooling in record numbers. It's doubled since pre-pandemic levels, since 2019. And there's been a mass exodus already from the government school system. There's been over 1 million kids that have left government-run schools since 2019. And that's one way to do it. You can incentivize the monopoly to do a better job by empowering parents so that next time when the school board doesn't like what the parent is saying, they won't cut their mic off. They won't call them a domestic terrorist like we saw during the Biden administration. When you have school choice, parents have more agency. The school board's more likely to listen to you, treat you as a customer as opposed to an enemy. And that gives families they're less likely to have to exercise that choice when they have more power, and that improves the public schools. Competition's a rising tide that lifts all boats. And the second prong of the approach is to have teachers dismantle the union from within. Because there was a 2018 Supreme Court case that not a lot of people remember. It's called the DeAngelis decision, which means that unions can no longer compel public school teachers to pay dues because otherwise that would violate their First Amendment rights, because they're basically, before they were forcing them to fund political causes that they inherently disagreed with. So now teachers are basically en masse being convinced by some organizations like Teacher Freedom Alliance, for example. They've already convinced over 2,000 teachers just this month alone to stop paying the union dues that ultimately go to Democrat campaign coffers that are money laundering operations. The teachers union is a money laundering operation more than an educational institution for the Democrat Party. Mussolini wanted the state control of education. Why? So that he could have a monopoly on information so that young, impressionable minds would think that his authoritarian policies were the right way to go. I mean, fascists, by definition, like centralized power and authoritarianism, and that's what the teachers' unions want too. That's why they want a single Department of Education. That's so that they can lobby one institution to get what they want, as opposed to having to lobby every single 50-state Department of Education. They can do it in one fell swoop, control not just the blue states, but the red states too. And we saw this during COVID. Randi Weingarten's union lobbied the CDC, of all things, to make it more difficult to reopen schools in person. They held children's education hostage to secure billions of dollars in ransom payments from taxpayers. They got $190 billion since March of 2020 in so-called COVID relief that wasn't even used to open the schools. It was used to hire more people, more Democrat foot soldiers to push for their political pet projects, to give them more union dues to funnel towards Democrat campaign coffers. And once we win the schools back, this strikes at the root of all the other problems. Why do you think Ma'am Donnie's in first place in New York City, an out-and-out socialist? It's because we have millions of kids going to government-controlled institutions that we call schools. I would call them failure factories in too many places. And they're learning that big government's the solution to all their problems on repeat for 13 years of their lives, for 7 hours a day. You strike at the root, you reclaim the schools, we save our country, not just our state.